Hey beautiful people, welcome to Friday morning, and it is super great to be here. I'm super excited about the weekend, and today really wanting to speak about how to increase our confidence. And our confidence is one of those things that really affects every single area of our life. It really affects how we actually feel about ourselves. It affects how much action we take. It affects how we show up in our relationships. Hey Joanne, great to have you on here, hun. It definitely affects what we think that we'll actually allow ourselves to receive, whether this is financially or whether that's within relationships. Hey Rod, it's great to have you on here, darling. So our confidence really actually impacts so many different areas of our life. So how is it that we actually can build and increase our confidence? Because I know for myself personally, when I would see a confident person, it'd be like, oh, they're born that way, or they've, just had, it's great to see you're awake, Joanne. So it's beautiful to be awake early on a Friday morning, well, on any morning, I think, and I know that Roz will definitely agree with that too. She's very much an early morning riser and loves to get in and get things done. So definitely, just chatting about building confidence today. So more than happy, like if you guys are wanting to ask any questions or have any feedback as well, that would also be fantastic. So building confidence, I find, we can all have the perception or the belief that it's just something that people are naturally born with. And I really want to dismiss that myth first up, because the more that I've actually delved into the psychology around confidence and mindset and how we actually show up and how we choose to show up, it really comes back to building a strong inner state. And that's not something that we're naturally born with. I think, we can all have those times where we doubt ourselves, or we feel like we're not enough, or we feel that we're worried that, we don't know what we're doing, or we haven't got the answers, and we go into that feeling of doubt. And of course, when we're in that feeling of doubt, we take less action, we don't tend to show up for ourselves, and we can tend to build a bit of a negative cycle around our self-perception or our self-image. And so understanding what are the key factors that really help us just step into that confidence can be massively, massively helpful. And I always like to bring it back to baby steps as well. So baby steps towards building our confidence is one of the best things that we can ever do. And at the very base of this foundation definitely needs to be self-love and self-care, because if we're not taking really great care of ourselves, then it's hard to build confidence from that platform, because of course confidence is nothing more than the external appearance or the external expression of how we actually truly feel about ourselves, and the stability that we actually have within ourselves, regardless of what other people are saying or regardless of what's going on in our external environment. So these can be really, really important. So self-love is at the very base of this, and definitely in one of the confidence courses that I actually teach and have definitely ran in workshops face-to-face, it's very, very important to be able to identify what are the key things that you're actually saying to yourself that are eroding your confidence or eroding that sense of self-love. And it's time to pull those weeds out. It's time to identify what are the limiting beliefs, or what is it that I'm actually saying to myself that's actually hurting myself and hurting my self-confidence. And I'm going to explain a framework or a model that I think helps to make a great deal of sense to when we're learning or understanding anything new, because it really helps to again, just dismiss that kind of feeling of, I can't get it, or it's too hard, or I don't know how, or where we lose the confidence, we lose the courage to keep trying even when it feels difficult or hard. And this can be, like I said, one of the things that can actually really impact our confidence, in terms of if we're not trusting ourselves to follow through, or we're not showing up for ourselves with the smaller things, then it's going to be much harder to trust ourselves and to feel confident in doing the bigger things as well. And I know for me, even a great example of that is actually doing these live videos. And I noticed with the last face-to-face workshop that I ran with my Angels Wings program, I had zero nervousness. It was really incredible, because I'd become so much more comfortable speaking on live video, it just made talking in front of everybody so much easier. Whereas, that certainly wasn't always the case. To even put my first video, which I recorded and recorded and recorded, it was months and months of actually building into that courage to be able to do it. And then it was just like, oh, Sal, just get out of your own way and finally step up and just do this. And when I actually did that, it was about kinesiology, and I think, I had the most amazing response. And we often find that when we do really just go, get rid of that fear, well, not necessarily get rid of that fear, but hey Di, great to have you on here, hey Donna, but when we embrace that fear and go, yep, that fear's there, I can feel it, and I still choose to move forward with this because we have an important why, and because we're dedicated to our purpose or our reason for actually following through, or perhaps it's just because I know that I need to do this for myself. This is my next step in my growth. This is my next step in my evolution as well. Hey Brooke, great to have you on here, darling. So it's really important to remember the 4 steps to learning anything new. So I'll just run through those really quickly. The first step to learning anything new is just reading your beautiful message, Brooke. That brought a smile to my face. Thank you. So, and please let me know if this is resonating as well. Obviously, love hearts are a great way of showing me what's resonating, what's not. Thank you, Brooke. You're awesome. And whether this is relevant for you too. So please, I love this to be an interactive process as well, which is really fantastic and makes it a lot more fun for me rather than feeling like I'm just rambling in front of a camera for a while as well. So definitely the 4 stages of learning anything new. And so the first stage is bliss, and it's like blissful awareness. We don't know that we don't know. So if we're going to use an analogy for this, it could be, driving a car. And so when we're kids, we look at adults driving a car and go, oh, that looks like fun, that looks great, And so we're really, it just looks easy and simple. And then, of course, we get our owls and then we go to sit in the car and we go, oh my God. And so then we enter the stage of pain. And so we're now aware that we actually don't know how to drive the car. So we're sitting there and it's like we're freaking out. We don't know what we're doing, we don't know where to start, and we're feeling anxious and worried, and generally there's a lot of fear that comes up in that stage, just depending on what it is that we're actually learning. The third stage is effort, and this is where it's like applied effort. We start to know what we know, but we've got to consciously think about every single step as we progress through it. So it's like, okay, right, I'm hopping in the car, I'm putting the seatbelt on, I'm now putting my foot on the clutch, I'm now changing the gears, I'm putting the blinker on, I'm checking my mirrors, and we have to consciously think through every single step. So it takes a great deal of effort. Then we get to the last stage, which is flow, and this is the really exciting stage, and I think the stage where a lot more confidence really can come through, because you're stepping more and more, getting out of your head and having to think about every single thing, and it becomes natural and very much on autopilot as well, which can be really, really helpful just for being in that state of confident flow. So that flow state is we unconsciously, so we're no longer aware that we actually know that thing. It's just something that we do simply and easily. And you'll have many things in your life that you already feel 100% confident in, and identifying those things. So taking some time perhaps after we've done the live video to identify, what do I actually feel really, really confident about? It could be, something as simple as making your bed or making your favorite meal, or what is it? What are your gifts and strengths that you are already confident in? Because that helps to build, again, that solid foundation and solid platform of self-love. So we've got the 4 stages there, and when we get into, hey Sue, great to have you on here, hun. So when we get into that state of flow, then we feel like we can take on more and more, or even expand and grow either in that same area. So if it's the analogy of driving a car, you might go get your motorbike license, or you might upgrade to a light rigid or a medium rigid or heavy rigid vehicle, or even go for a multi-combination. So just depending obviously on how far that you want to take it and what your own personal goals are. So another analogy around this that I love was one that I used for health. And originally, you know, I didn't feel confident about my body, and I spoke about this last night in a beautiful support group for healthy people. And it was, I just wanted to be able to run 2 kilometers without stopping. And so that was my only goal. I was wanting to play netball again, and I wanted to know that I could kind of run around on court for half hour without dying. And so I thought, righto, a good goal is just let me run, you know, 2 kilometers. And at first, you know, I didn't have any confidence at all. I felt worried. I felt like I was going to fail. I felt like, you know, oh gosh, how embarrassing. Other people are going to see me running. And all of these thoughts are going through our mind. And so it's those things that really can erode our self-confidence. I'm pleased that's a great analogy for you, Brooke. And so, you know, when I first started running, at first, you know, it was like I'd run 500 meters and then I'd be out of breath. And then, so I'd run a little bit further and a little bit further. And confidence is built through tiny little baby steps that when we show up for ourselves, we begin to trust and really, like it really builds that sense of self-love. And it's like that sense of pride within ourselves as well, where it's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm actually starting to do this. And what happens is we go from fear into courage, and then it goes from courage into commitment, because it's like, wow, I actually really think that I can actually start to do this. And then it goes from commitment into positive belief and expectation, where it's like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this thing. I can actually really, really do this. And then it builds into that, just that sense of confidence. I've totally got this. And of course, your self-talk is imperative in this situation. So anything that you're saying, and you know, if there's white noise going on, getting back into your heart and understanding your true purpose and your true reason as to why you want to learn this particular thing, or why it's important for you to do this. And so back to my running analogy, you know, I started nailing the 2 kilometer runs, and it was like, oh my God, I feel so good about myself. And I actually started to get almost addicted to it because I felt so good. And so I set a new goal, and that was 5Ks. And it was like, oh my God, you know, I was never able to run 5 kilometers straight, even as a kid. I had some unhealthy self-perceptions around myself and my body as a child. And even, you know, year 6, year 7, year 8, all of those things, I'd strive and try and do that, but I just felt like I never could actually get there. So changing this as an adult was so important for me as well. Hey Carly, great to have you on here, hon. And so what I actually did, I nailed the 5K run, and then I nailed a 10K run, and then I nailed a 15K run, and then I got to the 22K mark, and it was just like, oh my God, I never would have ever dreamed when I first set that goal of running 2 kilometers straight. I would never have dreamed in a million years that that would be like one of my bigger goals. And then I went on and I did another 5 or 6 triathlons, and it was like to complete a triathlon, and oh my God, I was so nervous on the first day. So again, you know, it took me back to that first stage of feeling the fear, and then stepping through, deciding to have the courage, knowing my reasons why and my purpose as to why I actually did this. And just touching briefly as well, I feel like I'm jumping in and out a little bit here, but knowing your reasons why and actually going really, not just surface level why, like, oh, I want to get fit, you know, that's not enough to get us up on the mornings and to have us show up for ourselves when we're feeling tired, when there's other commitments, when family are wanting different things, and all of those kinds of things that can really show up in any goal that we're actually really going for. So you need to develop a really strong reason why. So Dean Graziosi in his Millionaire Mindset book talks about going 7 layers deep, and I think that this is really important as well, because it helps us to buy in logically and emotionally into that particular goal or that particular dream or vision as well. So when you ask yourself, you know, well, if we use the health analogy, why do I want to get fit? Oh, I want to feel better about myself. And then it's like, well, why do I want to feel better about myself? Oh, well, I'll feel more confident, or I'll feel like I can do more things in a day. Okay, why is it important that I feel really confident and that I can do more things in a day? Oh, well, then I feel like I'm actually a better person and a better mum, and I show up more for myself and for others. Okay, why is it really important that I'm a better mum, a better person, and I show up more for others? Oh, I feel like I'm really living my purpose and my truth. And you can just keep going on. Hey Shan, hey Connie, great to have you on here. So you can really build deep emotionally and logically your reasons why you are showing up and doing anything. And this will, like I said, this will build to your level of courage and help you step through some of those initial fears that can definitely come up, that can block us all. And that was one of my greatest learnings, was really, you know, oh my God, everybody actually experiences this. It's not just me that feels like I'm not enough at times, or I'm worried about this, or I'm worried about what other people are going to think, or any of that stuff. We all have that white noise. It's just how you actually choose to manage that and move through that that's most important. And depending on which one you feed the most, are you going to feed, you know, there's the story of two wolves, and you may or may not have heard that, but we all have those two wolves inside. So it's the wolf that, you know, is the negative mindset, is I can't do it, or the limited persona that feels like a failure or feels worried and scared and all of those things. Or, you know, there's also that other part of you that I think it's our soul, it's our spirit, it's our heart, that knows unconditionally that you are so much more than what you're actually allowing yourself to be at the moment, and you really can shine and really can be out there. Hey John, great to have you on here. And you can really feed that part of yourself as well, that knows that there is a deeper purpose, a deeper meaning to your life, and that you really are here for that, and you can step through that and in that. And a lot of that is just like seriously getting our mind and putting it aside and getting it out of our own way, so we can really step through and just allow ourselves to be that natural, unlimited being that we really, really are. And so the more that we actually do this, the more you'll start to recognize your own patterns of limitation, your own patterns of fear, your own patterns of how you actually talk to yourself when that is coming up, and be able to build those solid references for yourself in what you already feel really confident in doing. And like I said, even if it's brushing your teeth, or even if it's making your bed, we all have things that we've done, you know, on autopilot, and can do on autopilot in that flow state very easily every single day. And I'm certain that if you actually took the time to do this, that you'll find more and more things that you are really gifted and strong in. And we don't always recognize that, because sometimes we feel like if it's simple for us, or if it's easy for us, then it must be easy for everybody. And I know from speaking to lots and lots of clients and working with over 1,500 people over the years, that each person, you know, really does believe that oh, it's simple and easy, so it must be simple and easy for everybody. So they don't necessarily recognize it as a strength or a gift. So take the time out to really dive deep with yourself and go, well, what is it that I do find simple and easy? And have a conversation with somebody else about this and say, you know, what about this? Do you find that simple and easy? One of my clients, she's amazing at systems and processes, and I'm terrible at systems and processes, and she just found it was just so simple and easy for her to be organized and to have put those systems and processes in place, where yeah, she just didn't think that was a gift or a strength. And I'm like, oh no, you have no idea how valuable that is, you know, for business people, or for structures within corporations, or companies and different businesses. So it really opened her eyes to really understand what her gifts and strengths were. So again, back to what we were talking about before, you know, getting into that flow state, showing up for yourself every single day, no matter what your head is saying, no matter what's going on, is one of the most important factors for building that confidence. It was the thing that really allowed me to progress from going from a 2K run through to actually showing up and doing the triathlons, even though the fear was there, even though every single time, you know, I felt anxious, I felt worried, I felt that I wouldn't be able to finish. My only goal, particularly for my first triathlon, was just to complete it. It was just like, just finish. And I nearly pulled out, like seriously, 50 meters into the swim. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was drowning. There was all sorts of mind chatter going on. And yet, because of the training, because I'd showed up for myself every single day, it was really engaging that self-talk in that positive, feeding the positive wolf, which was, you know, I've got this, let's just run our own race, our only choice, our only thing that we're wanting to is, sorry gosh, I'm getting all muddled. The only thing I wanted to do was actually to complete it. So it wasn't about competing against anybody else. It was just choosing to show up for me. And I think think we can all fall into that comparison trap, which definitely feeds the negative wolf. We look around and we go, gosh, you know, everybody else is better at this, or everybody else is more confident, or, you know, all of those things. In comparison will erode our self-confidence and self-worth quicker than anything else. And the other thing that massively erodes our self-confidence and self-worth is when we don't show up for ourselves, because then it's so a great quick analogy. Hey Ricky, great to have you on here. Is if you were going to meet a friend for coffee and it's say Saturday morning at 10 o'clock and you're like, yeah, let's go for coffee, and you get there and they're not there, and it's like, oh, well, they're not here, and so you're trying to ring them, they don't answer their phone, they're not picking up any messages, they're not getting back to you, and it's like, oh, well, I guess I better go home. And so we do that, but it's like you're kind of going, oh, I don't know where they are, hope they're okay. So then you ring them later on and they're like, sorry, I've totally forgot about it. You know, I just got caught up with the kids, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, well, I still really want to catch up, so let's catch up. And so then you decide to meet up again, you know, next Saturday at 10 a.m. And so you set that, and it's like, yep, you got that in your diary, yep, no worries. So then you go down there and you wait, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting again, and like that frustration's building because they're not there, and you're just like, oh my god, where are they? And so you're trying to ring them, you don't get onto them, and then you finally get onto them later on in the week, and they're just like, oh my god, I totally just forgot about it, I got caught up again, you know, I'm so sorry, yep, my alarm went off, I saw it, I was gonna head down, and then something else happened with the kids, I just didn't get there. It's like, right, okay, well, I really love you as a friend. I really want to do this. I want to catch up with you. I want to see how you are and what's going on with you. So let's meet again. You know, is next Saturday, is that definitely going to be right? You know, you're definitely going to be able to show up. And they're like, yeah, no, I'll definitely be there. Absolutely. Look, you know, I've let you down 2 times already. So like, I just want to show up. I want to be there. You get there and they're not there. And you're waiting and you're waiting. And you're waiting, and how do you feel about that friend right now? Do you trust them in the future? And this is what we do to ourselves. So we erode our self-trust, we erode our self-belief, we erode our self-confidence when we don't show up for ourselves. And this is in the smallest of things. We're either depositing into our trust bank account for ourselves and for other people, with our promises and with the things that we say to ourselves, yep, tomorrow morning I'm going to start the diet, or yep, tomorrow morning I'm going to work out, or tomorrow morning I'm going to do this particular thing. And when we don't follow through, we let the voices in our head take over, then it will definitely erode that self-belief and that self-confidence. So if you do choose to make a promise to yourself or to other people, be wise about those promises, be very wise and be very discerning. Is this the right fit for you? Is it definitely something that's important to you? Do you have a deep reason why you're actually doing that? Because if you blow it off, or if you just choose not to show up, you're not only letting somebody else down, but you're letting yourself down, and that who you are as a person, you will just start to, again, like erode that self-belief and that self-confidence. So showing up for you, get committed to the things that are most important, figure out what is most important to you, and then just choose to show up for you after you've done your why and you're really clear on that. And then it really is about setting aside the menial things that, you know, we can all get caught up in and get sidetracked and everything else, but the more you choose to show up for you, the more confident that you will feel every single day. And really, hey Kate, great to have you on here, hun. I'm so pleased for you, Sue. That's really great. My pleasure in delivering this message for you this morning. And it's definitely been one of my life lessons in learning how to become more confident. I definitely felt very anxious and very worried, and particularly starting my own kinesiology clinic, which I actually trained with Kate in doing that. And that was terrifying for me, because it was something not only that was brand new to me, but it was brand new pretty much to the community of Wagga. There were 1 or 2 other people doing it, but it certainly wasn't mainstream, and it was certainly not something that my family had really had much to do with or anything else. And it took a great deal of courage and commitment to a deeper reason why. And my whole purpose was that I just wanted to help people feel better. And so that drove me every single day to show up, to even when my clients didn't show up, even when no one was there. And it's the same with doing the videos. It's the same with every single area of life that I've chose to up level or to change or to just do something different in and really make some strong changes around. When you know why you're actually doing that thing, then it allows you to engage more and more courage, more and more commitment, and therefore build into that confidence of just taking it from not knowing, that you even don't know, to that state of, oh my God, this is painful because now I don't know, to that state of, oh, now I know what I need to be doing and now I've just got to get in and do the work, as well as then, oh my goodness, this feels amazing to just get on here. And I did a live stream last night that was an hour, really with very minimal notes, and it was such a joy and a privilege, where I'd shown up and I'd done the work for years and years and years in speaking to clients and in speaking about different things and running those workshops and facing those fears, and you guys have that in you as well, and recognize those things that you're already doing in a really confident way, and just get prepared for new levels of excitement, courage and commitment and confidence to come through every single time that you choose to show up for you as well. So hey Shanice, it's great to have you on here. Yes, so I can really relate to what you're saying there too, Roz. So those voices in your head, sometimes amazing and sometimes not so much. So we all have that, totally, and I know that you know that as well too, hun. So the more that, tune into your feelings, and it's like, is this serving me? No. What do I want instead? What do I want instead is a really powerful question to ask yourself, because it literally allows you to pivot on the spot, from looking at your fears and focusing on what you don't want to what do I want instead, and being able to move forward in a really positive way. So I hope that's been helpful. Have an amazing rest of your Friday. Lots of love to you all, and I will catch you next Friday, if not before. Bye.